Episode 19, Sustainable Growth, the Architecture of Longevity. Welcome back to The Inner Architect. We have reached the penultimate step of our journey. This podcast is brought to you by www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com, your partner in the lifelong process of psychological evolution. Over the last 18 episodes, we have undergone an intense renovation. We've rewired your brain, adjusted your internal thermostat, and anchored you in purpose. But there is a trap in the world of self-development, the peak performance trap. Many people build a magnificent structure, but they build it so fast and with such high pressure that they eventually burn out. Their growth is a flash in the pan, bright, intense, but unsustainable. As an inner architect, your goal isn't just to be great for a season. Your goal is sustainable growth. Today, we are going to learn how to keep the growth engine running for decades without the wheels falling off. We'll talk about the infinite game, the importance of strategic boredom, and how to evolve your identity as the seasons of your life change. Part 1. The entropy of the mind. In physics, entropy is the inevitable trend toward disorder. A building left unattended will eventually crumble. The same is true for your mind. You don't just finish your self-development and then walk away. At www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com, we teach that growth requires continuous maintenance. Many people experience regression to the mean. They do well for 3 months, then slowly slip back into old habits of procrastination, episode 14, or fixed mindset, episode 11. This happens because they view growth as a destination rather than a lifestyle. Sustainable growth requires you to build self-correcting systems, routines that catch you when you start to slip before the foundation cracks. Part 2. The infinite game, playing for the sake of playing. To understand longevity over 45 minutes, we must discuss the work of James Carse and Simon Sinek regarding finite and infinite games. A finite game has known players, fixed rules, and a clear ending. The goal is to win. Example, getting a promotion, hitting a certain weight, or earning $1 million. An infinite game has known and unknown players. The rules change and there is no end. The goal is to keep playing. Sustainable growth is an infinite game. If your only motivation is a finite goal, you will experience a post-achievement depression once you reach it. The architect knows that the joy is in the building itself. When you fall in love with the process, episode 11, rather than the result, you become unstoppable because you never run out of winning moments. Part 3. The seasons of growth. When to push and when to pivot. One of the biggest mistakes in high-performance culture is the belief that you must be crushing it 365 days a year. Nature doesn't work that way, and neither does your biology. Every great structure goes through phases. The planting phase, high effort, low visual results, this requires resilience, episode 8. The harvest phase, high results, lower effort. This is where you enjoy the fruits of your deep work, episode 12. The fallow phase, a period of rest and reflection. This is where you prevent burnout. Reflection pause. What season are you in right now? Are you trying to harvest when you should be planting? Are you trying to push when your body and mind are screaming for a fallow period? At www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com, we help you synchronize your goals with your current capacity. Forcing growth in the wrong season is the fastest way to break the foundation. Part 4. Strategic Boredom and the Power of No Growth Days. In our world of always-on productivity, the idea of doing nothing feels like a sin, but strategic boredom is a biological necessity for long-term creativity. When you are constantly growing and learning, your brain is always in input mode. You need periods of output only, or no input, to allow your subconscious to connect the dots. This is where your neural plasticity actually consolidates. The architect schedules maintenance days, days where there are no to-do lists, no podcasts, and no self-improvement. These days prevent your identity from becoming the person who is always working. By stepping away, you gain the perspective needed to see if the building is still aligned with your purpose. Episode 18. Part 5. The Identity Pivot. Who are you without the goal? The final challenge of sustainable growth is the identity pivot. As you age, your roles will change. You may go from an athlete to a coach, or from a founder to a mentor. If your identity is tied to a specific achievement, you will suffer when that achievement passes. But if your identity is tied to the architectural principles, integrity, curiosity, and resilience, you can pivot into any role and still feel fulfilled. At www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com, we use the core values anchor exercise. We help you identify the 3 to 5 values that are non-negotiable regardless of what you are doing. If growth is a core value, you can grow by learning a new language at 20 or by learning to be a better listener at 70. The form changes, but the essence remains. Closing thoughts. Sustainable growth is about the long walk. It's about being better today than you were yesterday, but doing it in a way that allows you to be even better tomorrow. You have built a strong inner world. Now your job is to tend to it with patience and grace. Thank you for being here for episode 19. For our yearly rhythm planner and the burnout prevention audit, visit www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com. These tools will help you map out your seasons so you can play the infinite game for as long as you live. In our final session, episode 20, we will bring everything together. We will conduct the grand opening of your new inner world and discuss how to walk forward as a master architect. This has been a production for www.selfdevelopmentpsychology.com. Until next time, respect your seasons, trust the process, and keep building for the long haul.